Hey guys, Medic Prepper 611 here, back with part 2 to our first aid kit mentality video. And in this part of the video, we're going to be breaking into this first aid kit right here. This is one that I purchased off eBay and have added a little bit to, but I am a big fan of purchasing prepackaged kits, mainly because of the bag that they come in. It can be very difficult to find a good bag, and then when you do find one, they generally are pretty expensive. But if you look out there, you can find prepackaged kits that have stuff in them. Rarely or fairly inexpensively, and you get a pretty good bag with them as well. I think this one was $10 and came with about 100 pieces of first aid supplies in them as well. So I like it. It's got a lot of dividers in it, so I can stay organized, and being able to find stuff when I need it is a big thing that I like to be able to do. So I'm going to go ahead and crack this open. The majority of the stuff that you see in this kit is what came in it. I did add a few things, and I'll try to point that out as we go along. So, crack it open here. First thing right here on top is a pair of nitrile gloves that are not packaged away in a little Ziploc bag. They're right here on top where you can get to them quickly if you need to get them and put them on. I do keep two extra pairs right here in this little baggie that are packaged up and rolled up. I like to change gloves quite a bit, so I keep extra pairs like that. Next thing is a triangular bandage. Now this didn't come inside the kit. This is something I put in there, and you're thinking, well, geez, you said all this stuff about bleeding control. Why would you put a triangular bandage in there? That really doesn't serve that purpose well. It does. A lot of guys keep the cat tourniquets or the SWAT tourniquets inside their kits. I keep triangular bandages because they're cheap, and you actually can make a tourniquet out of them. I'm not going to show you that here, but there is a way to take this, fold it up, and use it as a tourniquet, and it's a cheap and effective way to do that without spending $30 a pop on them. Next thing I've got in here is I've got 2 gauze rolls. Now these aren't big, these aren't expensive. One came with the kit. I added one from my personal supply that I keep here at the house. You know, these are good after you put the gauze sponges on to put a compression dressing on and try to stop that bleeding. Back here in the back is where I keep the majority of the gauze. The first one I've got here, I've got a trauma pad. This is 5x9. This is good for a large amount of bleeding, whether it be a big arterial bleed or some sort of venous bleed, and you need to get something that's going to soak up a lot of blood real quick before you can get that tourniquet on there, okay? Other thing we're going to have here is I got some gauze 4x4 pads. I've got 5 of them. Like I said, bleeding control, and you know, don't skimp on the big stuff. 4x4s, if you've got room for them, put them in there. They'll soak up quite a bit of blood, and you need quite a few. You know, once you put one on there, you don't want to take it off. You want to keep applying them and let that clotting process go ahead and take effect. So put a few of them in there. I've also got 2x2s in here as well. I've got 7 of these. Now these also can be used on top of the 4x4s or for smaller wounds that you may need to try to put a pressure dressing on. You can just stack these one on top of another, wrap some gauze around it, but plenty of 2x2s. Like I said, you can never have enough gauze sponges or things to soak up blood. They're cheap, they're fairly small, put them in there anywhere you can find room for them. This I actually did put into the kit. These are awesome. I found these on a website. These are what's called burn-free gel pads. They're not cheap. This is a 4x4 dressing with burn gel on it. I think it was like $5. But if you have a family member or yourself that has a burn, small in nature, put this on there, and this will relieve quite a bit of the pain that's associated with it. It cools down the burn really quick and does relieve some of the pain. So if you got somebody with a burn, this will be a godsend for them. I also, back here in the back pouch, just keep a couple of the larger elbow bandages or knee bandages, whatever you want to call them. They're easier to keep back there with the larger things I have in the back. All this stuff came in the kit right here. You've got a few of the fingertip bandages and knuckle bandages, as well as some butterfly closure strips. Assortment of band-aids. I'm not going to go through all this stuff, guys. Band-aids are pretty simple enough, but the majority of these actually came inside the kit itself. I only added a few. I added a few of the small circle bandages in case you get small blisters or anything like that, and just a few of the smaller bandages because I had room for them, so I threw them in there. Another cool thing that this kit came with is it comes with little cards inside of it for people that aren't real familiar with first aid. Basically tells you what some of the stuff is and how to use it, what order to use it in. The kit also did come with extra strength non-aspirin tablets and ibuprofen tablets. So for people that aren't familiar with what's inside the kit, they can pull these little cards out and use the kit effectively, and they can have a little bit of direction as well. Also right here in the middle, this did not come with it. I added it as a 3-inch Ace bandage. Once again, main purpose of that would be a sprain if you run across it, but it also can be used as a compression dressing or a pressure dressing on some sort of a heavy wound where you're trying to control the bleeding. They're really great. They stretch. You can get a lot of good tension on them and try to put some pressure on that wound to slow down that bleeding. The rest of this stuff is made for cleaning wounds. You've got some Castile soap towelettes here, and those are good for just cleaning wounds, smaller wounds, abrasions, scrapes, and stuff like that. Those are great. They'll clean up a wound real good before you dress it. Then you've also got just some alcohol prep pads. So these, you can clean small wounds with them, but it will sting. I wouldn't advise doing that. I keep quite a few of them to clean the area around wounds, and I do clean small cuts and scrapes with them on myself because it doesn't hurt that bad, but you'll have other people that complain about it. And I keep quite a few of those in here. They're cheap, they're good, you wipe your hands off with them, you can clean your tools and instruments and stuff with them, which actually, this kit does have a few of those in there, and I'll show you that. This stack right here I actually had to add, but it came with, I think, 6 or 8 of the alcohol prep pads, and it did come with the soap wipes as well. Then we also have antiseptic cleansing wipes. All of these came with the kit. Now these are great because they are antiseptic. They will clean the wound and help prevent infection. These you can put directly on any wound and leave the liquid that's inside the pouch here and on the pad inside the wound. It will not hurt it. It's made to clean out the wound, so you don't have to worry about drying the wound once you use these. You can actually leave the antiseptic liquid in there and it will actually help heal that wound and prevent infection. The little instrument panel here, I added this. This is just a 10cc syringe for wound irrigation. If you have something that's a little deep, you need to irrigate it. Clean water. A lot of these guys carry around Provone iodine and all that stuff. Clean water is all that you need. If you would drink it, it's okay to clean out a wound with. I do keep some triple antibiotic ointment in here. The kit itself came with 2 little packages of triple antibiotic ointment. I added a few more from my own supply here as well for minor cuts and scrapes. It came with some sting relief pads as well for bee stings, wasp stings, things along those lines. Here's the ibuprofen and the aspirin that came with the kit. I added a few of my own medications in there. I've got extra strength Tylenol, Pepto-Bismol, an anti-diarrheal, and 4 Benadryl tablets because if somebody needs Benadryl, it's good to have all the time with you. People will love you for that. Most of this stuff came with the kit. Right here it's got 8 of the applicator tip pads. It has one of the disposable next temp thermometers, a few safety pins, and then I put 3 of the splinter outs in here that I had for my personal supply of medical supplies in here. Splinter outs are awesome and they're cheap. Then all of this right here actually came with the kit. One tongue depressor also can be used as a finger splint. It was in there, so I figured I would leave it. Actually, a metal pair of scissors, bandage scissors, blunt tips, so you're not going to stab anybody with them. I was actually pretty impressed with that. For a $10 kit to have metal scissors in them was pretty good. And also came with a pair of plastic tweezers, which aren't good. I'll probably replace those here real soon. Then it once again has a first aid card. You can put numbers and stuff on here, and then it actually goes over some basic first aid knowledge in here for people who may not be familiar with the kit. So that's actually really good. It goes over various things. I'm not going to go through it. Every one that you get in any kit is probably going to be different and have different information in it. And then just some tape, so you can tape up the gauze and stuff like that when you're done cleaning and dressing the wounds. So, as you can see, the majority of the stuff I keep in this kit is aimed at bleeding control. And it's actually fairly extensive, but it fits in a pouch that is 7 inches by 5 inches and probably weighs less than 2 pounds. So you can have a lot of capability to affect a lot of major wounds in a very small kit if you're careful and think about what you're going to put in there. Take your time, sit down and think about what you want to have in that kit and actually spend some time going through it, guys. You'll be amazed what you can get in here and in a relatively small space and limited weight. So take your time, go through it, build your own kit, start with the prepackaged kit and add to it is what I would advise you to do. But I'm coming up on the 10-minute mark here on the video, so I'm going to have to cut this off. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe down in the box below, and let me know what you guys would like to see in the future on the videos, alright? Take care.